Iggy Rodriguez in the building, y'all.
Yo, is that
There he is.
better?
Yeah.
There's my
There we
guy. What's
go.
up, man? How you doing,
There's,
buddy?
there's my guy. How you feeling? Happy
What's going on?
Friday.
It's good to
Man,
see you, man.
I know it's been forever, man. It's been a
Been too
minute.
long.
Talk, but I haven't seen you, so good
There's
to
been
see
a
you.
lot, dude.
Yeah.
There's been a lot, man.
How's your day so far?
It's been good. Had a busy morning. Had some calls this morning. I was at the UCLA track for a little workout. So been active. Been trying to get after it still. You know me.
Yeah, like an athlete, like a chop that you are.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I mean, it's funny. I told the story this morning. I'm getting old, man. Like, I had a really hard workout on Monday, and on Tuesday, I woke up and went to go like wash my mouth out, and, like brush my teeth. When I bent over the sink to brush my teeth, my hamstring like tightened up. Like that's how bad it is now.
Wow.
I'm an old man, dude. I'm an old man.
We gotta get you some cryo, man.
I know. No, but things are good, man. How you doing?
Man, phenomenal, man. Life is great. God is great, and we're living proof. So I'm happy to be here on this live with you, my brother from another. But man, let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about transformation, relationships, vulnerability. When we spoke a few weeks ago, you kind of opened up to me about some things you were dealing with, and now you seem like you're on the other side of those things. So can you kind of just give us a little just synopsis of what that challenge and that breakthrough has been like for you, and you're probably still evolving from that?
Yeah. So you mentioned being on the other side of it. I feel like I'm like kind of trudging through the middle of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's been a very hard few months. Very hard. I think for so long, we talked about this a little bit. For so long, I've created this image for myself that I wanted people to like, right? And so much of my time and energy was spent on making sure that the thing that I communicated, whether it be through Instagram, through a conversation, and in any capacity, any form I could communicate this message about myself, that it was received and that people liked it and validated me for this thing I wanted to communicate. And as a result of that, it's made it really difficult for me and being very open and vulnerable to be in relationships, because I've never really liked the things about me that I know to be true about myself. I have a lot of insecurities. I have a lot of things that basically the only things that I communicate to the world are the things that I want you to see.
Yeah.
Because those are really easy for me to kind of be out and fake and do the smile and laugh, right? Like that's easy. And the more validation I got for it, the more I liked doing it, because it made me feel good in that moment. But when I close my phone and the likes stop happening and it's just me sitting there by myself, I'm basically communicating this image of myself that I don't really like. So that validation goes away very quickly, because then all of a sudden I'm sitting with the stuff that I don't like by myself all the time.
Yeah.
And so I oftentimes found women who really cared about me and loved me to try and fill that cup up with their love for me.
Yeah.
Instead of really understanding why I feel that way, trying to love myself more, trying to be better to myself. And candidly, I would use their love up until it was gone, and the relationship would end really badly, because ultimately, no matter how much they loved me and cared about me, I still needed that other validation for that person I had created.
Yeah.
And so their love wasn't enough for me, because I didn't love myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then this external validation, and my therapist was amazing. His name is Rob Mack. He was like, it's like candy, right? Like you eat a piece of candy, it tastes great in that moment. It's amazing. It's your favorite candy ever. But like, what happens when you eat 3 bags of it?
Woo!
Like you get sick, right? You get sick. And so like my candy was this social validation specifically from women, and I would get it, and then I feel good for a second, and then I would need more candy and more candy. And it would ruin my relationships, because I wasn't present with this person who loved me, because I didn't like me.
Yeah.
And I kept going back to the well for people to like me for things that I didn't like. Absolutely. And so I was in this spot where like I candidly, like, I can't be with anybody, like, until I can really love myself enough to be able to deliver love the way that it should be.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, we take it back to the candy analogy. So to people on this live, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, is that when you have a sugar fetish and you want to eat candy all the time, you're actually filling a void. The void is you're lacking love in your life. So you just want more sugar. So
Totally.
I had that, and I can relate because the love I was lacking was loving myself. And that's what we tend to do when we want validation, or we manipulate ourselves to be that person or to help that person just to get that feeling and an admiration from others, and we're not even giving that to ourselves. And so we in that position where it's like fight and flight. It's like, do I stay? Do I go? But we don't even understand because most times it's a blind spot. So
And like so like you say blind spot, I think like as like a guy's guy, right? As someone who's like an athlete forever, like in my mind, like if I have a problem, I'm just gonna I'm gonna steamroll through it, right? I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna fix it. Even in my relationship, I kept telling my person, like, I'm gonna stop acting this way. I'm gonna solve it, I'm gonna fix it. But I never took the time to create the environment and to understand what tools I needed to fix it. Like, and that's one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about, and especially like with anybody who's willing to listen. It's like, if you knew better, you'd do better.
mm-hmm.
I didn't know better. Like, I didn't know how to work on myself.
Woo!
And I told you the other day, like,
pause. I'm not to cut you off. Go back to that again. I think you need to say that again for the people in the back.
It was,
you didn't know
if
how
I
to
knew
work
better,
on
I would have done better. And I didn't know how to work on myself.
And I think that's a challenge for all of us, for many people, Iggy. They don't know because they haven't been programmed or conditioned to. So that's why they're always missing a ball or missing a train, because they don't have the information. They don't have the awareness that you just figured out.
And especially for guys like us who are athletes, it's like, oh, if we have enough reps, if we work hard enough, right? But we don't even know, we don't even know what game we're playing. Like, work hard at what? Like, what am I working on? You know what I mean? I had no idea. And it really, like, I've gone to therapy a couple times, but was kind of closed-minded about it, right? Like, this is the first time where I said, I'm going to commit to really sticking to something in my life. And going to therapy, and I told you this the other day, like, if I would have told you 2 months ago that I would be the kind of guy who would write down on the mirror in my bathroom that I love and accepted myself, and looked at myself in the mirror every day and said that until I fucking believe it, and journaled when my feelings were overwhelming, instead of going to my phone and maybe DMing someone and distracting myself, but really owning my feelings and taking time out of my day to meditate and like literally speak to the universe about things that like I'm looking for in abundances in my life, I'd have called you fucking nuts. I would have never done that. Ever. But and like I didn't know I needed that until I started doing the work with my therapist to start.
Yeah, and the thing, I just want to congratulate you because you took the first step. The first step is awareness and being mindful of that. I need work. I'm full of it. I'm on Front Street. I'm pump faking. I'm not shooting this shot out of this corner. I'm really laying it up. But people don't know that. So, like I always say, the hardest work we're doing in life is on ourselves.
Yeah,
but the more
and it's forever. I think the hardest part for me is that I'm not a very patient guy. Like, I want what I want. I want what I want. I want it now, right? But this work is forever work.
Forever.
It's forever work. And so I've had to like.
And so right now in your position, like, you know, the relationship didn't work out, but now you're working on a relationship with yourself. How do you feel, and what phase are you in right now to get to the other side of your best self or your greatness?
Therapy for sure is a huge one. Someone to like have an objective conversation with. Like, I love my boys, right? But my boys didn't go to school to help me out with my problems, right? It's like, oh man, you know, I feel like shit. I feel so bad about the things that I've done and about my relationship. They're like, oh, let's go grab a drink. Let's talk to some girls. That's not it. Like, that's a distraction, right? Like that ain't it. And for so long, that's what I did, is like, when I felt pain or when I was sad or when I needed self-love, I self-soothed by finding someone who would give it to me. And I'm actively working on myself, and a lot of it is therapy. I've been reading so much lately, and that's probably been one of the biggest things for me. It's like, therapy is great, but what, you have it an hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week if you can afford it, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many pieces of work out there that have resonated with me so deeply. And like, you can read every day. You can read a couple hours a day, right? And like, that work isn't just speaking to someone. That work is like internalizing the stories and lessons that so many other brilliant people have to offer. So I've been reading a lot. And then I think one of the biggest ones for me is because I'm kind of impatient and I act, sort of very quickly. You and I are similar. Like, we're very high functioning, right? Like, we're always going, right?
Yeah.
Is it sometimes I don't take a look at what I'm doing before I do it. It's almost automatic.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, that pleasure seeking is automatic, and it makes me feel bad afterwards. So really, and I'll be honest, I went on a date last night and I journaled before I went out. And I'm like, how do I feel in this moment?
Yeah.
Like, am I going out because I'm sad, because I'm lonely, or am I going out because I genuinely just want to have a good time and kind of meet someone new? And I've been able to kind of slow my process down, where I'm not just feeling and reacting and then thinking, oh, maybe I should or should not have done that, or why did I do that? But doing the thinking before you act. And I realize that's like a simple thing to say, but like, because we're all doing so much, it's so hard to do that sometimes. But sitting and really just journaling about how I feel in the moment, why I'm doing something, it makes me infinitely more present.
Yeah, because we get caught up in human doings instead of being human beings.
Yeah.
I think what you're trying to figure out is, like, what is my intention
Right.
this date?
Right.
What's the why? What am I doing this for? Is it for her? Is it for me? Is it for the moment? Is it because I'm lonely? Because of the pandemic?
Yeah.
And you get to the root of those answers and you're like, got it. And some of those questions might ring true. Like, I'm doing this for me. I'm being a little selfish today, but I'll deal with it when I can. So,
but here's the thing that I've noticed, and one of the biggest things for me, I know it's brought us closer even like in a short period of time. Like, if I'm doing it for me, or if I'm going out on a date and I lead with complete honesty, like, hey, I have no expectations. I just got out of a breakup. I just want to have a drink and have a good time. If you come home, great. If you leave at the end of the night, great. Like, I'm just here to enjoy this experience, and this is where I am right now. I am shocked, Eric, at how well that is received. Like, all my fear of being like honest and vulnerable and like almost having a script when I went out, like, this is what I want to say for people to think a certain way. The moment I stop doing that, I feel like I'm so much more warmly received by everyone.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that I was so worried about.
Yeah, and I think you and I had that issue like 3 weeks ago where I had to fail someone out that I care about because I was still helping them out of the people-pleasing energy.
Yes, yeah.
So I had to say no. I didn't keep my word. I failed them, and I said, perfect. I want you to be mad at me. I want to fail you because I need to let you know that I'm not perfect. That I'm not God. Like, I'm not just saving grace every time you want to be saved. Like, no, I can make a mistake. Okay, if you're mad, it's okay. But I had to do that to get out of the people-pleasing energy because when I thought about it, after I agreed to it, I didn't really want to do it.
It's so funny you mentioned that. Like, one of the hardest things that for me to have done in the last month or so is to like actually forgive myself. Like, I did stuff that I will never be okay with to this point. I've hurt this person so deeply that it's inspired me to do this work, right? That's how bad it was. But I was almost like in a competitive way, I was like holding on to that pain to make sure I kept doing the work. Wow. Like, I felt like if I let go of the pain, that I would just be complacent and be like, well, I forgive myself, so I don't really have to do this work anymore because I don't feel bad about it. Yeah. But what I noticed is that even though like that pain was the catalyst for doing this work, holding onto it while you do it only focuses your time and energy on your past experience and how that relates to now. And it forces you to like remove yourself from right now because you're still holding on to that stuff in the past.
Yeah. And this energy, Eckhart Tolle has the book, Awaken Your New Life Purpose. And he talks about activating the pain body. So you leave one relationship, you suppress those emotions and feelings. You go into another relationship, and then you activate that pain. Now you're in the pain body because the energy is still moving around within you because you haven't healed from the wound. You just keep pushing it down. And you're like, why I keep running through these patterns? You haven't let the energy out. So it's hard when you don't have awareness. But I just think, man, it's easy said than done because you can do therapy, but you also got to do the work.
Right.
You got to be aware. There's a paradigm shift that, okay, I'm making a decision right now. Is this decision for me or is this for to benefit them? Am I doing this out of love or am I doing this out of fear?
And like, I've had to forgive myself for kind of falling back into some of those patterns. Even now, it's like I hear myself say something that, like, yeah, it's true, but maybe I put a little extra on it, right, to make me seem a certain way or to make someone else feel better or whatever, right? And like, I'm 33. Like, I've done that almost my entire life, and part of my career is building relationships, right? And like, it's so funny. I spent so much of my life reading books like, you know, like Carnegie's, like you know, like Winning Friends, essentially, right? Like Winning Friends and Influencing People, right? Like, it teaches you how to be personable and it teaches you how to get people to like you, but it never talks about like you liking yourself and being genuine. It only talks about the tactics to get people to feel like they have a connection with you for the purpose of doing work together.
Yeah.
And because I focused so long on that, I only knew how to do that in my relationships too. Like, I knew what to say to make them feel a certain way, even if it wasn't my honest truth. And that was like the most damaging thing in my relationship.
Yeah.
We'll call it people pleasing, but like, it was like, it's the only thing I knew how to, it's the only way I knew how to connect.
Yeah, you were filling the holes that you need to look at. So you manipulated yourself to make someone else feel good so you didn't have to deal with the real issue.
Exactly.
So you're like,
Exactly.
that's cool, don't worry about it. I'll buy you something, we go out, I love you, come here, boom.
Exactly. And
Okay.
they feel good. So then I feel good. I don't have to worry about it, right? I can push it off.
Yeah, that's great. So to anybody listening or that's going to watch this, what advice could you give them, like, when it comes to a breakup? Because I know, Iggy, at least 10 people, I say 10, that in a breakup right now or going through a breakup or who just got out of a relationship in this whole span of, 4 months we've been in. What is your best advice to those people that's dealing with heartbreak and sorrow and shame and whatever it is, whatever emotion, anger, frustration?
It's okay to feel what you're feeling. I spent so much time trying to avoid feeling what I was feeling, trying to avoid the shame of hurting someone, the pain of them not being here anymore. It's okay to feel how you're feeling. And I mean this very honestly, and like, I don't have pride in it anymore. Like, there were times in the last like month or so where I would just be driving down the street and hear a song and just start crying.
Woo!
There was that much pain that I inflicted on myself and how much regret I felt about the situation. And I think as a man with this, like, you know, this complex of like crying isn't masculine, right? Like, yeah. I think traditionally I would have changed the song or I would have like told myself to stop or whatever, but like, I just owned it. I just let it happen. Like, it's cathartic. Like, you need to be able to feel those feelings so you can get over and through those feelings. Yeah. If you just avoid it all the time, you're going to fall into the same pattern every time. Yeah. So feel your feelings. It's okay to not be okay. It is. And I think the biggest one for me is you have to be able to forgive yourself and start looking at yourself and loving yourself again before you can even think about finding someone else. Yeah. That's it.
And that's huge. And it's as simple as that. You know, we make it complex because we want things to be a certain way, but certain relationships serve a purpose. Some people come in your life for a reason, a season, and some maybe a lifetime. Yeah. But if you're willing to do the work, you have the willingness to succeed and become your best self. And we all deserve to heal. We all deserve to feel good. And we all deserve to forgive ourselves.
I think one of the biggest things too that I've stopped doing actively is storytelling, right? Is like meeting someone for the first time and being like, oh yeah, maybe they do fit. Maybe they do check boxes. Maybe we can date. Maybe they can meet my parents. Maybe they would fit in with my friends. Like, it is creating, I think, you know, stories in my mind when I meet people, whether they be good or bad, about what they think about me or what we might be able to do in the future. And you can't, like, people aren't like a TV or a couch. You can't have expectations and knowing where they're going to be or how they're going to work, right? Like, so when you set expectations on people in the future, they're invariably going to let you down, and it only sets you up for for pain and heartbreak, because no one, even if you told me how you felt, I can't know that's true for sure. Yeah. So I can only be present in the moment and not think about all the things that may or may not happen in the future.
And the truth to it all is that nobody is their behavior. Their behavior is learned, or it's triggered or initiated from the emotional state that they are in.
Right.
if they're unhappy, if they're angry. Maybe you caught them at a bad time. But that's not who they really are. They just in that space where it's uncomfortable. They had a bad year. There's been a bad week. And you got a part of that energy. And you thought they were worse. Like, no.
Right.
They're a person. They're human. They make mistakes. It just didn't work out. And it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that, like, I've had to learn to be able to love myself enough for it to actually be okay. Before it was like, if I'm not with this person, I'm not going to be okay. Like,
yeah.
I love this person. They love me. I'm not okay without this person. And I think that feeling and inability to love myself enough for it to be okay for whatever to happen. Because if you love yourself enough, like you mentioned, like if they're here for a day or a week, if you love yourself enough to know that you're going to be fine no matter what,
there it is.
Then you can really enjoy that one day. You can really enjoy that 1 week or that lifetime with someone. But you have to be able to be okay knowing that if they come in for a day and walk out the door, you're going to be okay. And I didn't feel that way because I didn't love myself enough. And so I held on to these women, even when it was damaging for both of us, because I was so scared that love they had for me would walk out because I didn't have enough love for myself. So I held on and I held on and I held on.
Yeah, and that's powerful, man. It's such an amazing thing when you can heal and you can learn from your pain and your past mistakes, and you can be in it or you can be out of it and say, man, I appreciate that girl so much because she made me a man. She made me look at my shit.
Yeah.
She leveled me up emotionally. Oh, I wish I could tell her. I know she's married right now. She did me a favor. So I just thank you. I just want to say thank you for your experiences. I think you've grown a lot, and there's more to it. You know, the more we know, the more we grow. And I feel like this side of Iggy is what the world needs to see and understand. Because the other side is cool, but the other side is not as authentic as this Iggy that I'm talking to you right now. Because this Iggy, I can call and say, Iggy, I'm in a relationship. I feel like I'm overanalyzing. What you think I should do? Information and kind of at least help me. Instead of me like, Iggy, I'm trying to go to the Super Bowl. You got tickets?
Oh man, I mean, dude, and honestly, man, like I feel different. Yeah. And parts of me, it's so funny, like parts of me almost doesn't buy it.
Wow.
Like, and that's the part I'm still working through, right? Is like, I've been so good at like selling myself a certain way that now that I actually truly am feeling a little different about myself and how I interact with people, I almost kind of look at myself sideways, like, am I really, is this really me? Like, am I really changing this way? I almost don't buy my own growth, if I'm being honest, sometimes. Yeah. It's hard.
It's scary. And that's the thing about success and elevating and evolving. It's scary because it's different.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Because like, well, I'm not going to change. You have to change to become your best self. You can't stay the same.
Right.
And it's okay to change. Change is necessary for anyone. But yeah, man, it's miracle season. That's what, you know what's funny? That is what it's miracle season is about.
Yeah.
The metamorphosis, going through a transitional phase, transformation, going through something to get somewhere to be something else that you wasn't before for the benefit of your life. That's what the miracle season was. That's what happened to me on TV. And as I continue to evolve, it's still work to do. So, like I said, Iggy, man, I love you, man. I'm just thankful for you. Anytime you want to talk again, we can get back.
I got your number. I can hit you.
Maybe you should start a talk show or a podcast. Don't tell nobody I told you that. Talk to Iggy, you know?
Hey, man, I mean, honestly, man, like, I told you I wanted to do this, like, and I don't mean it to sound in any way disingenuous, but I was the last person that I would have thought to have done this work. And, like, not to be cheeky, but, like, if I can do this, like anybody, you just got to start. You just got to start.
There you go. You got to start, and you got to keep going, and you be feeling great. So, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate you. If you need anything, call me.
Thank you, bro.
Stay strong. This is going to go up on my page today, so people will see this.
So.
Share it, and we on, man. I love you, brother. Be safe.
I love you too, bro. It's good to see you, man.
Stay strong.
Hey, bro. Later.
My guy, Iggy Rodriguez. Yeah, guys. So that's it. Iggy. I met him on TV. Bachelorette season 13. Rachel Lindsay. Shouts out to her. And we all go through different phases in life. We're all evolving. And he's evolving and he's learning and he's changing and he's becoming who he needs to be for him and not a relationship with someone else. So take note of that. Take some notes from this. I'll put this up on my page. Give us some feedback. DM him. Follow him. His Instagram is Iggy_Rodriguez. And strive for greatness. Be your best self. Love yourself. And keep going. I'm out. Peace and love. Stay strong.